It's connecting.
Okay, we're not gonna take anybody's photo, and nobody's gonna be on video, it's just us. And this is being live streamed on the Fischler College of Education School of Criminal Justice YouTube channel. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Hi, everybody, my name is Dr. Grace Telesco, and I am with NSU, Fischler College of Education School of Criminal Justice. I'm here with my dear friend, good friend, and colleague, Dina Luciano. And Dina's gonna tell you a little bit about her, but first I wanna just kind of set the stage for everybody. First of all, thank you so much for coming. This is an amazing, to me, outpouring of how we care to save an addict. I mean, and one of the things about Sociodrama, I'm the faculty advisor for the Sociodrama Club, Stage for Change. And at the end of the performance, I will introduce each member of the ensemble who will talk about what was it like to prep for this, what was it like to, to develop it, where did it kind of come from, and then what it was like to actually rehearse and do it. This is the second time we've done this. Well, actually no, like 4 times we've done it. But the last time we did it for legacy healing. And it was well received, I think, right? So tonight I want to just say thank you to Rick, Riccardi, and Fellowship, and Sarah. Where's Sarah? Barkley, there she is. So thank you so much for letting us have this space for free to do a community service, because that's what we're really doing, right? Yep. Sociodrama. Anybody ever hear about what sociodrama is? Anybody know what drama is? Yes, drama. Well, we want less drama, right, in our lives. But in any event, you've gone to theater before. You've gone to the theater, right? And after it's over, or during the intermission, you walk out and you talk to your friend about what you thought, what your feedback was, what your, assessment of it was. Sometimes it's just like, well, was that entertaining or not, and blah, blah, blah. Sociodrama isn't any of that. Sociodrama is educational theater. And so what it means is that we reenact a scenario or scenarios. The characters, played by my actors, played by the Sociodrama ensemble, who P.S. back at the ranch, don't get a penny for doing this, right? They don't even get credit for doing this. Aww. I mean, we give them credit, like, oh, I'm giving you the credit, but I mean, like, this isn't a class, except for Madison. But otherwise, no, if I tell them that we're gonna be doing something in Jacksonville, they will find a way to get to Jacksonville and do it. Why? Not because of me at all. It's all because these students care so much about our motto, which is even if we can save one life. We do a lot of sociodrama around various social issues. Socio stands for social, drama is the educational theater piece, and the beauty of sociodrama, by the way, is that we freeze the scene. I'll be the facilitator. Sometimes it's called the Joker of Augusto Boal, who kind of was the pioneer of this, if you will. The facilitator's the Joker, which kind of fits, I think. Anyway, so I will facilitate the dialogue with you, the audience, you stay in your seat, but you are very much a part of what's happening on stage. So you get to interact through me with the characters who stay in character, okay? We do, one more thing about sociodrama, we do a lot of different topics. They're all social, sociological, psychological. Bullying, we've done. Microaggressions on race, on ethnicity, on gender, on sexual orientation. We've done something called Behind the Mask. Behind the Mask is all about child human trafficking, sex trafficking. I mean, it runs the gamut. Domestic violence, sexual assault, you name the topic, we've done it. And I can't say how much I love you and I'm so proud of you for all the work that you do. And I really do believe that we do save a life anytime we do this. In fact, and I'll close with this and let Dina introduce herself and tell you all about all of her credentials and who she is. But we did something for the United Way over the summer on suicide awareness at the Museum of Discovery. And after it was over, a woman came up to us, came up to the ensemble and said, right before I was gonna come here with my kid, I wanted to run my car off the road. Now that I've seen this sociodrama and we were involved in it and she was involved in a lot of interaction, she said she doesn't feel that way anymore. I say all of that to say the work that we do, sometimes we'll get the immediate feedback, but really we're just about planting seeds. No further ado, Dina. Dina.
I currently work at Legacy Healing Center where I'm a primary mental health therapist. I'm also a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. And I got involved, I met Grace, I've known Grace for years, and when she came up with it, they started the Sociodrama back in 2018. She knew I was in recovery, and she reached out, and she asked me to collaborate with them, and this was pre-COVID, and collaborate with them and coming up with some scenarios. And I remember I'm like on my lunch break at work, and I'm, helping them come up with, high-risk warning signs, different things like that to use. And then COVID hit. And the students were not able to perform. They had the big show planned, and we ended up doing it on Zoom. We ended up doing this sociodrama via Zoom, and that was the first time that we did this. And so, I'm a great fan of Grace and her work, and this topic, relapse prevention, is really close to my heart. And so, Grace kind of like pulled me along, tag along, and I'll just kind of like jump in and out and try to engage you guys as much as possible. But I'm really honored to be a part of this, and hope you guys enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, but she didn't give any credentials.
Oh,
Did she?
Nope.
Did you hear her credentials? You gotta hear these credentials.
she's like my cheerleader.
No, you gotta hear this.
So,
It's unreal. Go ahead.
So,
She's our expert.
we do recover, right? So not only, was I a customer, a client, but now I'm a professional. Like I said, I went back to school when I got in recovery, and I got my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I'm a master certified addiction professional in the state of Florida. I'm a national certified counselor with the National Board of Certified Counselors, and I'm a master addiction counselor through NADAC, which is a National Association of Addiction. And I'm also currently pursuing my doctorate degree in counseling, education, and supervision, and I just completed my internship and will be starting my dissertation February 27th, which is actually going to be on this topic of recovery. So, is that good, Grace?
There it is. Okay, so there's going to be 3 scenes. The first scene is going to actually take place right about here. It only lasts a few minutes. We'll freeze the scene. I'll say freeze, and then we will begin the dialogue. All right, we ready to go?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Action.
I can't believe I just spent 28 days in that treatment center. That was ridiculous.
I know, it was so long. Like, why did it have to be so long?
I couldn't have made it through that prison experience without you.
I know.
So can we meet up again? I really want to hang out with you.
Yeah, let me just check my schedule. Let me just call a ride real quick, and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Joey, how are you?
Who are you?
I'm Layla. I am the manager of the Halfway House. How are you doing?
Fine. What's up?
That's it. Okay. Well, I just want to let you know that we have 100 meetings in 100 days, and whatever you were doing with her, it's over.
What are you talking about?
Screw this, let's go. Come on now. You don't have to listen to this.
That person, and no. We have to stay focused. You're on the pathway to recovery. We're not messing up.
100 meetings after I just spent 28 days in that place.
Exactly.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious. And actually, I'm chairing a meeting right now. I'm actually kind of late. So,
Come on.
We have to go to a meeting right now.
I'm meeting right now.
This is ridiculous.
Hey, so are you free right now?
Well, I thought I was, but this is Layla, and she's the manager of the Halfway House, and she wants us to go to a meeting right now.
Oh, okay.
Can you come with me?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry. like to share first?
Not me.
I guess I'll go first. I'm Michaela and I'm an addict.
Hi, Michaela.
Hey, Michaela.
Hi, Michaela.
So I met this really cool dude in treatment and we hooked up a couple of times.
She's talking about me.
And my mom, she's being such an ass about this ever since I got into treatment and everything. She's making me homeless now. She won't allow me to stay back in her home.
No, just come stay with me.
No,
Okay.
no,
Sleep
no.
in my
No,
up.
no.
Why not?
Because we're not doing that.
Jealous?
We're not doing
Let's go.
That's it. Thank you.
that. That's it. Okay.
That
Thank you
was-
for sharing.
Moving. I love that.
All right. Anybody else?
There's nobody else here, so I don't want to go. Layla, I don't want to go.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Come on.
I guess I'm going.
Perfect.
Hi, everybody. My name's Joey, and I'm an addict.
Hi, Joey. Hey, Joey.
You're not an addict.
Anyways, this is my second time in the hospital. They had to Narcan me this time.
Yeah, baby, Narcan back water.
My sister Shannon, she's had custody of my daughter for like months now. She won't even let me see her, let me talk to her, nothing. She doesn't pick up the phone. It's ridiculous. Who does she think she is?
All right. Well, anything else?
No.
Why would you share that?
All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing.
Freeze. All right, so let's find out who these people are. I mean, I bet you already know. Am I right? Layla, you are a halfway house manager, and you were told to pick him up, right? Isn't he going to be staying in halfway?
He is. Yes.
Yeah. So there's certain rules and stuff like that, Joey. Why are you rolling your eyes? What's going on?
Because I just spent 28 days in there. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. No. I'm
Well,
not
it's
kidding
my
you.
life and I'm an adult and I can do what I want.
True, but I mean, if you want to live in halfway, isn't it the truth? Like, if you want to live in halfway, then there's certain rules you have to abide by, right?
I guess
What did you get out of treatment? Anything?
that I don't want to go back.
Okay, all right. And you also were talking something about your sister. Can you
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit? What's going on with your sister?
First of all, my younger sister, like, she has custody of my daughter right now. Because I can't take care of her. Well, her mom's out of the picture. She won't even let me see her. She doesn't pick up the phone, anything. You know? Like, I'm her father.
Uh-huh,
She has no right.
okay. Can anybody identify? Anybody relate to that? Yeah, is this a consequence of addiction? So what happened? I mean, what happened? You said they Narcaned you. Who was there when that happened?
My daughter.
Ah, your daughter was there when that happened. So, that might be what the sister is thinking about. I don't know. Could be, right? Maybe trying to protect the kid. I don't know. All right, so you are not his sponsor though, right? You're just gonna be, you're the halfway house manager?
Yes.
Okay, and your job was to come and pick him up as soon as he got out of treatment. I noticed, did you guys notice that she started giving a lot of directions?
Yeah.
What was some of the things? Can we recap?
100 meetings. Yeah, 100 meetings.
100 meetings, what happened to 90? I don't know. Well, it's all
You need
right,
Tim.
you know, and nothing exceeds like excess, let's do 100 then, right? Okay, 100 meetings, so he's gotta go to meetings every day, basically, right? Okay, what else? Other rules, you said something else, did you notice? What is the girl, he's like, no, she said, that's not happening, that's not gonna happen. Well, why, Dina, why is that important about relationships? What's the deal behind that?
So in early recovery, where you're just learning how to feel feelings, right? You hadn't felt feelings in a long time, been numbing out, right?
That's true.
And we don't get to selectively choose which feelings that we numb out when we're using substances. We just numb them all out. And so now you're like really raw and you're feeling feelings. And so the less situations that you can put yourself in where you might experience some difficult emotions, the better, right? And not only that, but you're vibrating at a lower frequency. Maybe not feeling too good about yourself, low self-esteem, insecurity. So you might be vibrating at a lower frequency. And so giving yourself that time, right, to raise your vibration, right? Because like 2 dead batteries don't start a car, right? And so when we're vibing at a lower vibration, we're attracting that into our space. So learning how to feel feelings, learning how to regulate your difficult emotions, and not putting yourself in situations until you're ready to be able to handle those feelings. and not distracting yourself from your primary purpose, which is your recovery, and learning how to love yourself.
Excellent. Who are you?
I'm just the voice of reason. I like
The voice of reason. And what are you trying to get across to Joey? Like, what was going on with the hand business? What was that? You were holding his hand down?
Now,
Why?
why would you share with a whole bunch of strangers all of your personal business? There's no reason for that. They could easily just use that information against you.
Why do you think it's important for him to share? Who can tell us? Why is it important?
Because when you hold stuff in, you're not expressing yourself, and then you might want to use over it. When you free what's inside of you, you open up your mind and you relieve some of that tension within your body.
So you're not digging this whole thing, this whole recovery thing. You're not into it.
Nah.
No. What do you? What's your goal? What's your motivation?
I think
Your objective?
I think Joey should just let loose, have some fun,
Yeah.
like the good old days.
Yeah. You think he should hook up with Michaela?
Most definitely.
I mean, he's
You're
already-
a perfect pairing, in my opinion.
Perfect pairing.
Mhm.
Did you already hook up
Yeah, we hooked up a couple of times.
in treatment?
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
It's real love.
Does that happen?
It's real
Is
love.
that realistic? Dina, is that realistic?
I mean, it happens. I mean, is it a match made in heaven
No, but I mean, is it even possible?
to hook up in
In
treatment?
treatment?
Oh, yeah. But
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
there's a way.
Oh, look at everybody
So,
shaking their head yes.
so we tend to substitute one for another, right? So we put the
Okay.
substances down, and now we're maybe lusting, right? And anything outside of myself, right? Anything
Yeah.
that I can take from outside of myself to fill me up, to distract me from me, right? Feeling all of these raw emotions. And so the girl, the guy, the food, the ice cream, right? The shopping, the gambling, any of it. It's just something outside of myself.
Are you into treatment?
Yeah.
Was it fun?
Yeah. Yes and no. It was fun.
What
hooking
was
up
fun
with-
about it?
Hooking up with Joey.
What's your situation? Like, why did you wind up in treatment? What happened?
I just got caught drinking, and I was like using alcohol and everything, and my family just had enough of it and just sent me to treatment. So
Okay. It started having consequences for you?
yeah,
Are you gonna abstain now, or what?
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try and abstain from drugs and alcohol.
Are you gonna go to meetings, or you just went now because of Joey?
I am not going to go to meetings. I only went to today
Oh,
just
okay,
because of
all right,
Joey.
so you're gonna just power through?
Yeah,
Just gonna
by
power
myself,
through,
yeah.
willpower through, okay. You think that's gonna work?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh, well, you
Why
got a
not?
group of people that
Yeah.
are saying, absolutely not gonna work.
Anybody?
Tell, who, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
tell Michaela, who wants to, give us some suggestions? Anybody?
Meetings.
Huh?
Get a sponsor.
Meetings. Find a home group.
Get a sponsor. I mean, are these things that you think you might do?
I may try some later in life. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So,
a relationship the first year.
You're ready to hook up.
so does anybody have any experience, strength and hope around, not taking the suggestions, doing it your own way?
I mean, we've powered through a couple of things and it was still an epic fail. So for me, I have like this background of constantly trying to power through and constantly ending up in jail. So.
Okay.
So maybe you haven't hit like what they call a bottom yet, right?
Rock bottom.
So, we talk about this in recovery, we hear this term, gift of desperation and hitting a bottom. Why is that important, Dina, for folks to, we don't want anybody to get hurt, and we don't want it to be that bad, where you're gonna go to jail or die, right? But isn't it true that eventually
Yeah.
this train is gonna hit the wall?
Oh, yeah, jails, institutions, and death.
That's right.
And there's stages of change, right? And so a person needs to get to that place. It sounds like she's still in denial, right? That pre-contemplation stage of change. Maybe moving into contemplation where like I might, but I'm not really sure, right? But ultimately the pain of staying the same has to become become greater than the fear of change, of taking action and making changes. There's another saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. So if I continue to do the same thing that I did before I went to treatment, I'm gonna continue to get the same results. So
But
becoming
Tina,
open-
what is it about this gift of desperation that makes it almost like the trajectory for digging into recovery?
Because whoever's experienced that gift, right, it's a lonely, you were in a very lonely, dark place of despair that was so sad and disgusting that you could no longer go on the way you were living. There was only, one last choice, either die, right, or, go on to the bitter end, or find a new way.
That's right.
And that place, you don't want to forget that place. Because as soon as you forget, you'll repeat. So using that as motivation to take action and make the changes,
And
using that.
It's true, and I think, we heard this, a speaker one time, talk about that the gift of desperation is almost like being held under the water. And do you ever like play with your cousin or uncle or brother or somebody stronger than you, and they're holding you down underwater? They're playing, but they're holding you down, and they're doing a good job at that, right? And that desperation to breathe air, that you'll do anything. You'll do anything to breathe air, to get up, right? To get out of the water. And I think that kind of maybe is a good example of the gift of desperation, that not only that I'm so desperate, but surrender. Uncle, I give up. I'm trying it my way, and my way's not working.
And unfortunately, some people have to bang their head against the brick wall a lot more than others, right? Just like, people have different physical pain tolerance. People can withstand more physical pain. Some people can withstand more emotional pain and need to really bang their head and go through that experience before they become willing to make the changes. And if we have enablers in our lives, people that keep catching us,
Right.
it's gonna take us longer to hit that bottom. It's gonna take longer to hit that bottom, and you can enable someone to death, literally.
Yeah. Any comments? Any suggestions? How many of you know people like Michaela? What do you do? How do you carry a message of hope? How do you make suggestions? What's your deal? What do you do? What do you do? Attraction. What does that mean?
Example, you share how your life has changed, all the gifts that you've received, and you keep sharing and hope that they want it too.
Okay. And yeah, sure.
It was said to me, that this rock bottom doesn't have to look the same for everyone. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic bottom of losing everything, right? And, hitting rock bottom just has to be when you stop digging.
Okay. So you can get off the train at any of the stations, right? Or they also talk about like an elevator, like you don't have to go all the way to the basement. You can get off at any floor, because you can be assured of one thing: it will progress. Is it not a disease?
It is a disease.
How do you know it is?
Well, in order for something to be a disease, it has to affect the primary organ, right? And the organ that addiction impacts is our brain, right? So we got some stinking thinking. It's primary, it's progressive, and potentially fatal.
But it's treatable, right?
If left untreated, yes. It's not curable, but it is treatable.
And the treatment is?
There's different paths to
Tell us, this
treatment.
is
There's
gonna be-
12-step.
Yes.
There's 12-step recovery. Some people find treatment through their faith. There's smart recovery. There's different pathways. But one thing is for sure, you have to do something. You have to do something. And honestly, connections is the opposite of addiction, right? There's some science behind that. They've done studies on that. And so the idea behind some sort of group, some sort of fellowship, some sort of community of people that you can relate to, that can identify with you, that connection is what helps lift you up.
You gotta be
Definitely-
connected in order to be protected.
There you go.
For real.
Yeah.
You already- Gotta be.
You know, we never really asked, nobody asked this character
That's the
who he
disease.
is.
We already know who that is.
You know who he is?
Yeah.
Who is it?
That's the disease.
That's Addict Man.
The disease of addiction.
Does anybody have that disease?
Oh,
voice?
yeah.
Yeah? Can you relate to that?
Yeah.
But how does it manifest? Like, we hear the manifestation here with, you know, telling Joey, don't share in front of strangers, you know? Or who is she telling you? She's telling you what to do. Don't listen to her. I mean, that's one way, that's direct. But then there's the indirect. The indirect committee, you hear that term, the committee in your head, right? The thinking,
imp.
ruminating on things, obsessing on things, compulsion, obsessive compulsion. What does that have to do with the disease of addiction?
Well, that's part of addiction, is that obsession and compulsion. And so, you know, even once we put the substances down, right, the disease can manifest in your life in different ways, right? And so, anytime you find yourself in that, you know, where it's consuming your thoughts and it's just playing itself over and over and over again, and your life can still become unmanageable, right? You know, maybe I'm not being able to show up for my kid. Maybe I'm missing work. Maybe I'm not really productive at my job. Maybe I'm snapping at people, my behaviors. And so that you know, constant, you know, where I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, like I'm having conversations with people in my head.
Yeah.
You know, you hear that expression too. You know, they're renting space in your head. Well, I mean, how many times have you had an incident or an interaction with somebody and you walk away and for days, if not months, you are still talking to them in your head and seeing different ways that they might answer you and you know
Stop it, I say.
you talk here in recovery about like what the primary objective in recovery is to be clean, but it's more than that, isn't it?
Find a new way to live.
Find a new way to live and
Be
to
happy.
be clean and serene, right? So serenity is a big deal. That's a big deal.
To shut
So-
that man up,
That's right. So we want to shut him up. We got to shut him down.
Yeah.
So let's see. We're going to go to scene 2, and we're going to see what's happening. It's a coffee shop. That's all I'm going to say. Action.
This is a cute little coffee shop. It's new. I like it.
Yeah, like you said, it's new. I like the vibe and everything here.
Yeah. But how about that party last night? I mean, that was something.
It was crazy. It was crazy. There was like a lot of Diet Coke and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like I didn't have to smoke or drink anything. It
Right?
was weird.
Diet Coke? Really? Why have Diet Coke when you can have cocaine?
But anyways, I really enjoyed seeing you last night.
Me too.
Let's take things further.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, look who it is! It's Flacco!
Joey, my man! Dude, what's up? Where have you been?
Hi, Flacco.
Dude, alright. Here, take this, right? I just got the best shit in.
Listen.
The best shit.
Listen, I've been clean 6 months now. Okay.
Okay, so it's like
So-
a diet or something? Take a little cheat day.
You know what? You know, I'm actually I'll get you something to drink. Okay, I'll be
Dude,
right
come
back.
on, come on.
Where are you
It's the top
going?
shelf shit.
Stop.
Come on, dude.
Ugh.
What's up for today? So, I know you heard what I was saying to Joey. I mean, I got the good shit in.
And I just got out of treatment just like he did.
Great, so you're on a diet too. Awesome.
Yeah, I got out of treatment. I'm trying to stay clean.
Okay, so take one day off. It's not gonna hurt anything. Hear me out. All right, I got some good stuff. Just take my number. All right,
Okay,
take my number.
I guess.
It'll give you
Save it for a rainy
strength,
day.
or
Save it for a rainy day.
it'll give you some strength, you know?
I can't deal with that right now. I just hate when he's around. This is ridiculous. Why does he have to show up everywhere I am, you know?
Yeah.
Here's your coffee.
Thank you.
Listen, I really want to ask you something.
Yeah.
My daughter's birthday this Saturday. okay?
Yeah.
And I told you, my sister Shannon, she's a bitch,
Yeah, I
okay?
remember you saying.
And I really don't wanna face her alone. You
Yeah.
wanna come with me?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Freeze, okay. So let's see what's going on. Where'd you go, Flacco? Come on.
Flacco.
Hey. You stay up there and, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, all right? So, Joey, first thing I wanna ask you is, how do you feel? I mean, you look like you're really squirrely and got really nervous, and why?
It's like he knows where I am.
But you know, I mean, okay.
He's got a tracker or something. You know, this guy's everywhere.
One of the things that
Just
Joey
ready.
did that were great, though.
Yeah.
Two things that he did that were fantastic. He walked away, that's number
Nobody
one.
said no.
But
No.
who did he say no to? Or stop?
Stop.
He said stop.
To Addict Man, told him, shut up.
Addict Man.
Ran-
Stop, he said. Stop.
Told the disease, shut up, yeah.
How'd you feel when he said that?
Come on, man, like, this was the golden opportunity to have some fun and you're chickening out? Come on!
Do you feel like you're losing, Joey?
There's other people, but yeah.
As we noticed, right, that you moved right over to there. You sat down, and then you just were kind of like staring Michaela down, right?
Other opportunities, example A.
All right, so Michaela, what happened when you walked out?
I just had to.
Did you take it or not?
I took the number. I didn't take anything.
But
I
why
just
did you
took the
walk
number.
out if you didn't take it?
I just needed to go to the bathroom.
You know you're
And
You
get
know
the
what, I don't
number.
believe her.
I
Anybody,
don't-
like,
I
I don't
don't
believe her.
no.
Anybody believe her?
She
Raise your
lied.
hand. No, not believing you. What? Flacco, so you tell me the truth.
Have you looked at me?
You tell me
Call
the
me.
truth. And she walked out, when you walked out with her, you gave her some, right?
Heck yeah, I gave
Yeah,
her some.
I know you did.
Top
And you're just
shelf
saving
shit.
it for a rainy day, right? What's the matter, you don't wanna tell me the truth?
No, not really. Like I said, I'm trying to stay clean.
You'll use it.
With the dope in your pocket.
What is it about honesty?
Good luck
What is
with
it
that.
about honesty and self-honesty?
Right,
Wow.
What about it?
So in the 12-step program, honesty is that spiritual principle behind that first step, right? That surrender and that honesty. And so, anybody know what holding on to that for a rainy day is called?
Reservation.
A reservation, right? So she's essentially reserving a place in her program for a relapse.
Right. Yeah.
Right? But even though she's trying to stay clean, but having the phone number is setting her up,
That's
right? Setting her up for failure.
Back to that
And
willpower
that,
she was pulling.
and she's lying to herself when she says she wants to stay clean, she's just saving it for a rain. Why do I need to hold on to drugs?
But I'm so disappointed that she would lie to me in front of all these people.
Yeah,
That's what
How? Well, how did she lie?
because that disease got her already. That addict man's already in her head, talking to her. And it's getting louder and louder and louder, and that's all, pretty soon that's all she's gonna hear.
So now, we have a little technique in sociodrama, and it's called bubbling. So I'm gonna bubble Michaela, and it's almost like a truth serum. It's like this invisible shield that comes over the character, and then they speak the truth. Let's see if you have the capability to speak the truth.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, what happened when you left with Flacco?
So Flacco did give me some stuff to save for a rainy day.
They can't hear you, just me. Go ahead.
And maybe I'll use it in the future. I don't know. Just to have it as a rainy day stash kind of thing.
Okay. All right, you're unbubbled. You see, there was truth, and then there was self-honesty truth, right? So, that's a process, right? And in the beginning, when you're first clean, is it difficult to be honest?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Who has experience with struggling with being honest?
Hello. You don't know what honesty is. I mean, you don't know what that is.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you lied.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, rationalization, justification, right?
It's uncomfortable.
And aren't you proud of me? I didn't use, I just have it in my pocket.
Well,
I've heard that.
that's the denial right there, that she may save it for a rainy day. You know, if it's in her pocket, you can bet she's gonna use it.
Yes.
You know? 10 minutes.
You had your hand up?
It's honesty and self-honesty, right? It always becomes like these defects become like a survival mechanism to us, right? So of course I can't be honest because I have no honesty to give to anyone. I've lied, stolen, manipulated my way around. And at the end of the day, even if I get rid of that, how can I be self-honest? If I don't like who I am, I can't expect you to like who I am if I'm honest with you. So we just continue to lie.
There's one more thing I want to say, and John, you mentioned this. Denial, my acronym for denial is don't even notice I am lying, right? Don't even notice I'm, but not only does she not notice she's lying, but you almost come in as a parent figure. How could you lie to me?
Yeah.
Really? You know, you're in denial also
Yeah.
that she's lying,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Because it boggles the mind, right? That somebody could lie right to your face when you know that they're lying, right?
But,
Yes. Oh,
she
go ahead,
use
Joe.
that. She use. If I don't pick it up, how can I use it? Once I put it in my hand, I use it.
Okay.
Ain't no holding it, you use.
I think that we're so conditioned to our disease that we don't know when we're lying. And that when we learn to practice the principle of honesty in our lives, there are no half-truths. You're either telling the truth or you're telling a lie. And that's how, if you're applying a 12-step program, step 1 can be worked to absolute perfection. Because you can't omit evidence or truth and still be honest. And so when she says, I'm putting it up for a rainy day, she's lying to herself. She's not lying to you, she's lying to herself, and that's the self-dishonesty.
Right.
Right, and for me, that's not denial. She's not in denial.
That's the condition.
Right, I mean, she's not in denial. She's got that shit, it's in her pocket. There's no denial there.
It's raining.
You know, it's just.
Being honest,
So,
the best for capability.
right, it's, you know, exactly. You know, so, you know, when people say, oh, she's in, you know, people are in denial, it's like, I'm not in denial if I got drugs in my pocket.
Maybe she's in denial of what it's doing to her life.
Well,
Looking at it.
but that's, you know, like, but that comes down the line, right? That we make that connection. But when you're newly clean, you don't know that's
You're right.
denial. You just, maybe I will
Yeah.
save it.
That sounds good. Justification, rationalization.
Save that for the morning.
But we know.
We already know.
Somebody used the word condition though, and some of these behaviors, right, like the lying, you know, do I got any thieves here, right? Yeah, stealing, like these things that.
Only the IRS.
Yeah. But they become second nature, they become ingrained.
Exactly. That's why she don't know she in denial.
And so even when we put the substance down, those behaviors are still very much present. And so it's about bringing them to the conscious and realizing that, oh, maybe I need to change this.
Yeah.
And then taking some action steps toward the change.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
But, you know, it's like denial is a recovery language. It's not a using language.
Right.
You know, so
That's
when
hard.
we're talking to people that are using, to me, you can't use that language, say you're in denial. It's like,
What's that?
what's that?
Yeah.
You know, so we're talking two different languages.
It depends on who you're talking to. The progression is different. You know, Terence Gorski talks about 4 stages of denial, from misinformation all the way to delusion, stage 1 to stage 4. So it depends who you're talking to. If you're talking to an 18-year-old whose mom found a bottle or a bag in their drawer on the way to college and say, hey, you're going to rehab, yeah, maybe they're misinformed. But if you're talking about somebody who's been doing the Florida Shuffle for the last 20 years, well, now you're in stage 4 denial.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, what I'm saying is that denial is a recovery language. It's a recovery word. It's not an active using word. So you cannot, you know, it's like you can't have that conversation with somebody that's active and have them understand what you're trying to say to them. It's not the same language.
Or even
That's
care.
all I'm saying.
Or even care. if they're
Or,
active.
or be so good at lying to yourself that you have convinced yourself that this actually is happening.
It's actually a primitive defense mechanism. We're
Right.
all born with it. And
Yes.
it's part of the grieving process, right? So when I put the drug down, I'm gonna go through a grieving process which the first stage is
Denial.
denial.
Right, right. I mean, and you said parent, right? So maybe I was coming off like, I can't believe you're lying to me. I'm gonna choke you to death. Why are you not lying to me? You know? But that comes from also a place of concern. I think that there's frustration for those who want to help the addict, right? So here's the addict lying to themselves, spinning around. Everybody knows they're lying.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes.
knows they're lying.
Yes.
But that
What they sell.
And you want to just strangle them.
Oh, yeah.
But the reason for that is because, and I don't have to tell you all this, you know, people die from this thing. Like, we're not even kidding around. Like, in fact, this library here, you know, Libby Lay, right there. The Libby Lay Library, this is the close friend of Dina, of me, and several of the people. I mean, probably most of the people in here know who Libby was. The disease
All
did
these
it.
people.
Oh.
Oh, man.
The disease did it. All these people who have passed on. All these young, beautiful people. And some of you know it up close and personal, having lost someone that you love so dearly. You know, and I think that's where the frustration comes. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying to yourself. But don't do this. Don't do this because you can, there's help. There's hope. You can. You can find recovery. But you have to what? You have to be willing.
You have to be willing.
You have to want it. There goes that thing again, taking your head and put it under the water.
the
You know, maybe
famous-
you think I can hold my breath really long. And that's what you're thinking. Instead of, no, I need air. And air is recovery. Air is the hope.
Yeah, but it's different for every addict,
Yeah.
you know?
Explain that to me, because I don't understand it.
Like, for example, like when I came to the rooms, I heard one is too many, 1,000 are never enough. Never heard that before. Like, we speak a totally different language in recovery opposed to treatment. The language is different.
Okay.
So when I say that, you know, I have to meet the client where they at, or the person where they at. And how I do that is I take them down memory lane. Like, how did you get here? You know, I want to know how you got here. And how I do that is, the first thing I do is like talk to them about demographics. Where were you before you came here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to be here? You know, and most of the time, most of those kids, their parents put them in treatment. You know, and somebody said it, like, you know, once you got a card or Medicaid or whatever kind of insurance card, you doing the circuit, you know, and you meeting new people and you hooking up in treatment and it's fun,
Yeah.
you know. So, I mean, that takes me back to my days, you know. So,
You said that all the addicts are different. Everybody's coming from a different place. Is that because some have other issues? Do diagnosis stuff, anything else that
And
makes
there
it
could be
harder?
underlying mental health issues, but I also think they may come from different places, but where are they trying to go? Recovery looks different for everyone, you know.
Everybody.
My personal recovery may not be the recovery that someone else is after. They just may be after the less harm approach. They just may not wanna put a needle in their neck.
But
You
while
know,
their
so I have
journeys
to
are,
respect
while
what
their
everybody's
journeys
individual recovery
could
looks
be
like, because
different.
you don't want anybody to be told they can't recover that way.
Right.
If that's whatever they're recovering from is their goal, then it's a success.
Okay. Sharon and then Robin.
I know for me, like, my bottom wasn't like homelessness or you know, hungry. I was desperate, don't get me wrong. What made me want recovery is what I seen I couldn't have anymore. And that was life with purpose and being present for my grandchildren, living in this beautiful place, Florida, because I come from a cold, gloomy place. So those things right there made my decision for me. Because I knew using, I couldn't have any of those. So
Right.
that's what changed my perspective.
Okay. And that's a personal thing that happens
Yeah.
inside of your heart space.
Well, that's.
Not the
that-
mind space. Probably not.
Right, that's that
Heart.
spiritual awakening when you make the connection that your life is jacked up
Yes.
because you're using.
Yes.
You know, it's like, I don't, you know, when I was using, it took me a long time to make the connection that my life had spiraled out of control because I was using. And, and I thought I was honest. If you asked me what I did, I said, I shot dope, that's what I do. If you wanna hang out with me, that's what I do. So I'm not in denial about it, I know, but I didn't know what that really meant. Really meant spiritually for me.
So that's that kind of, you hear about spiritual bankruptcy feeling, right? And that's, again, that gift of desperation. Whether it's physical, spiritual, or emotional, or financial, whatever the bottom is for you, that desperation piece that motivates you. Robin?
And while someone was mentioning that we can come from different roads, a lot of the things are extremely similar to us, like the shame, the guilt, the anger, the self-esteem, that we all travel with that when we get here. I think that's the desperation that we're talking about. Something motivates us, and for us, it's a lot of the same stuff.
But sometimes it gets really confusing to hear that, well, some people they're just in a different place. Is it that they're just in a different place in their journey, or is it that they have a worse disease? Is there such a thing?
No such thing.
What is it? So then what is it?
Like I said, some people can withstand more pain than others. And, this person's battle might just be missing work and getting consequences, right? This other person's battle might be the DUI. This other person's battle might be homelessness, lost their kids, right? And so it doesn't necessarily mean that the person who just missed work is any less of an addict than the person who lost their kids, right?
Yeah.
So hand and back, hand and
sure is different.
I believe in denial. I had 10 years sober, and but in 6 years, I was active in the meetings, going to talk to my sponsor every time. But that 4th year, the last 4 years, I went dry because I was denied that I don't need my sponsor. I was in denial that I ain't got to go to no meeting. I was denied that I ain't had to help another fellow man. So then when I realized, I was like, I call him slick. That's my damn. You got me again.
Slick. I like that.
I like that. I ended up from 2020. This is my fourth rehab. So out of 2 years, when I say coming, 1,000 and pounds. When I say that the 10 years I was sober, he was doing push-ups. Boy, I tell you something, it's deep. And right now, that shoulder right there now, counselor. So you're in Florida now. What you gonna do in Florida? They got all that good stuff down in Florida. I'm just saying, and the little man saying, look, you got a family, and you know you gotta take care of me on the inside, so but what I'm trying to say, yeah, it doesn't matter, it's real. Glad to know.
Thank you.
I think it does make a difference where you come from, because for some people, pain is very comfortable. If that's what you grew up with, there's so much comfort in chaos. There's so much comfort in emotional pain. Without it, some people feel lost. And I think if you came from like a different home, your bottom, your comfort level of pain is just different.
Just to be clear, are we saying that there are some people who just cannot get recovery?
No.
No.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't like going there, especially to our viewers who might be watching this, right? I mean, gift of desperation might be different for everybody, and there might be dual diagnosis issues, and there might be all these other layers that make it harder, right? I mean,
someone that has a primary mental health disorder, they're gonna need different resources, and their recovery plan is gonna look completely different, and that's an obstacle. It doesn't mean it makes it impossible, it just they have to have a different level of willingness themselves and be able to ask for help.
And have support.
Yes.
Like, some people don't have support, and that's for real, right? So some others have support more than anybody else. If you're a functioning addict, then you maybe haven't lost anything, and that makes it really even more easier to get whatever you want to get, right?
That denials.
And that's probably really painful for functioning, for
paradox,
folks who are functioning.
But I think when you, like for me, when I first came into the program, like I couldn't identify with being an addict because I wasn't living behind a dumpster and shooting up, right? So I could not identify with it. But when I did identify with it, and I admitted that I was an addict, like what I really learned was that we all have that same commonality. And what I learned was like not to judge people, because whoever's walking down the street next to you might look like they're perfect, but inside they're dead, you know, and that could be from addiction. So,
Great.
you know,
Thank you. Yes.
Maybe one point that I really want to agree in is, you said that some people don't have support. Well, that's why we have the program, and that's why we have all the meetings. Everyone has access to it. It's just a willingness and a surrender to look for it and access and tap into it. You know, that's a point I want to make. Also, we're focused a lot on the drug use. The drug use is really just a small portion of what really is the problem. Just 10% the drugs, 90% ourselves. So that's where you need the resources, and you need to find the support, like you're saying, to actually get to the actual root of the problem. Where we came from, actually, it's a big deal. You know, how you were raised. Some people, like I said, are functioning, some bottoms are different. I mean, for example, my bottom was, in a home with a family and my kids, but I still, something obviously gave me the desperation to have to want, the will, to the surrender to change. But at the end, it's all not exactly the same, but it's all the same what we're searching for, which is the serenity and the release of the obsession to use or be compulsive about any part of our life.
Yes.
And I think that's correct, but I also think that is incorrect, because if somebody doesn't know that resources are available, then they don't know that there is a way out. I had a brother who died from a heroin overdose, and he didn't know that there was 12-step rooms, that there were treatment centers, that there were places he could go and ask for help. He didn't know there was a way out. He saw me in active addiction for 26 years and thought that he was stuck. And I think that, and we came from a good home, we came from a good family, we came from good moral upbringing. And it was, for me, bad choices and being stuck in the society and the culture where we were, you know? And to not know, when you're from a small town in, the coal fields, you don't have NA and AA. You don't have treatment options. You don't have insurance to go to treatment. It doesn't look pretty. You've got moonshine lined up under the seat, and then when the big drugs started coming in, we had more pills in West Virginia per person and capita, than the whole state should have ever had per person. We're talking billions of pills, and they addicted us all. And so if you don't know, and I think that's why it's important for people who are in recovery to practice attraction and to show that recovery is possible, so that somebody who isn't aware has that resource.
Great, thank you.
I also think that not everybody can do well in a 12-step program. I just had this conversation with my youngest sister, who hasn't had a drink or a drug in over 30 years. And I said, you don't go to meetings? She said, I have too much anxiety. I cannot be in a social situation like that. It's too anxiety provoking for me. She doesn't use. She has, she has her life. It's good. She has her friends, but she cannot, there are some people that I don't think everybody finds recovery in 12-step meetings.
Yeah, that's
There are a
true.
lot of different
Sure.
ways for people to recover.
Yeah, which is something that maybe Dina will talk about at the end, this notion of recovery capital, and what is it? I mean, I think that's really an awesome variable, it's an awesome concept, construct, if you will, to talk about that at last, and after we're done. with this last scene,
Okay.
okay? So are we ready?
Yes.
Let's see what happens?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens. You're gonna start right here. Right here. Okay. And you're gonna start right here. So we don't have to wait too long. So we can commercial and then we'll see the scene.
Yep.
All right, action.
I'm so nervous.
Hey, it's okay, it's over here. What the hell are you doing here?
Already, Shannon, seriously?
What do you mean already? Why are you here?
You can't talk to her like that, alright? I wanna see my daughter, it's her birthday.
Oh, you are not going in there. You are not seeing your daughter today. Are you kidding me? You think you could show up here unannounced?
You have no right,
You
Shannon,
didn't even give me
okay?
a call? Are you?
I'm going in, whether
You
you
are
like
not
it or
going
not,
in.
okay?
And who the hell is this skank?
That's my girlfriend, don't talk to her like
Your
that.
girlfriend?
Yes.
Where did you find her?
Doesn't matter, she's my
Doesn't
girlfriend,
matter?
okay? And I'm gonna see her.
She a drug addict just like you?
I'm
huh?
clean now, alright?
You're not seeing your daughter. The last time she saw you was when you were being Narcaned on the bathroom floor.
You really want to listen to that? Remember that shit Flacco gave you? This is the rainy day. You should take it now.
Right.
Come
This is
on.
the rainy day.
Take it. Take it. Take.
If you're so clean, Joey, then what the hell is she doing over there?
Michaela, what the hell?
Freeze.
Damn, Michaela. What are you doing?
Trying to figure out what just now happened.
Michaela fucked up.
So Shannon, you are Joey's sister, and you're his younger sister. He said earlier, right? So how many? Before I get to Shannon, how many months clean are you?
Over 6 months now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. But I mean, right? Isn't it true that that could be a lot, right? Oh, okay. All right. Calm down. All right. Shannon, where are you coming from? You see him walking into the house. He's gonna walk into the house. He's gonna just strut right into the house, and you're like, no. What?
I haven't seen him in 6 months. Haven't heard from him in 6 months. He's been 6 months clean before. And now he's back there again? He's not coming in and out of his daughter's life just to mess her up.
And what are you planning to do about his daughter?
I'm gonna take custody of her. She's growing up with me.
Joey?
Everything she's saying is a lie. I've called so many times. She doesn't pick up at all. I don't communicate? Why would I not communicate with my own daughter? I mean, you're my sister too. I care about you too.
You care about us?
Do you care about me? Doesn't seem like it.
You care about us, and why are you high all the time?
I've just been 6 months clean. Like, don't put me in that
And we haven't seen
situation.
you.
Or don't paint me like that. Like, get her away from me.
What would you suggest Joey would have done differently, maybe? If he could have done something different?
Call.
He said he did.
I
He
said he
called.
He said he called.
Yeah.
I've said that.
She's not
Right?
answering.
Yeah.
She's lying.
Is this
I
true?
you show up without
Put the
girl
bubble.
that just got out of
Yeah.
jail.
The bubble.
Get a sponsor and talk to the sponsor first before
We need the
bringing
bubble.
the
So
girls
this
in there.
This was a really intense scene, right? Did everybody feel the intensity?
Yes.
Right? And so what type of stuff was coming up for you guys? And who could you identify with up here on the stage?
All of them.
Somebody.
The sister.
The sister?
Yeah.
So you've been the sister before?
Well, I mean, not necessarily the sister, but like my son, you know, it's like the same thing. Like you're coming in the house, hi, why are you doing that? You're laying in your bed all day, not looking for work. Why are you doing that? Like there was no trust, you know, completely broke my trust. And even if he told me he had 6 months clean, I wouldn't believe him, you know, so.
Who could identify with Joey?
I can identify with Joey. I know in early recovery, when difficult situations popped up, I immediately went to poor me syndrome. And it was in poor me. I tried to call, I tried to interact. I didn't know my girlfriend was getting ready to take a bump in front of you. You know what I mean? So it's just like, instead of processing, like everybody said, with him getting a sponsor and doing it a different way, you know, he showed up, and then when the consequences hit, it's everybody's fault but his.
That's right.
And then Susan.
For me?
Johnny.
I can respond to the girlfriend.
Go ahead.
She'll be that. I can relate to that.
Susan and then Sharon.
No, I was just thinking that, you know, there are steps to take before you just go in and bamboozle your way into seeing your daughter. And the steps are taken with the coaching from your sponsor. So the steps would be sending cards first, and then trying to make a phone call, maybe sending a letter to your sister and saying, I'd like to make a phone call on this date or whatever. And so slowly but surely, you're building a rapport with them before you just walk through the door and say, okay, I'm clean now, here I am.
Yeah, because you got some amends to make.
Yeah, so almost like that same selfishness in active addiction, Joey's still displaying with 6 months clean.
Yeah.
Right.
Not taking his sister's feelings into consideration. Right? Okay.
I could identify with them. I can recall being in a situation like that, and so automatically, you know, I'm already resentful and angry, and I have rights. You know, I'm entitled, and instead of going in the door humble and open and saying, look, you know, I just, you know, want to come in peace or whatever, I came in with the same attitude, and I got the same results. You know, even though I wasn't using, technically my behavior said I still was. Nothing had changed, right?
Yes.
So, okay, sorry.
So I can relate with the boy man.
Joey.
Boy man. No, the man boy. Joey.
Man boy.
As he's portraying at his sister's door is like a boy.
Okay.
You know,
Yes.
with his aggression, and we expect as addicts, I can say I expected as an addict coming to my, you know, to my family, like, well, don't you see me? I'm 6 months clean, you know, and here's his sister, like, yeah, but like, you've had that before.
Yeah.
You said that before, you've done that before,
Yeah.
and look, so I can relate with the wanting everyone's trust automatically,
Yeah.
where it's, you know, it's earned.
Yeah.
What about Michaela though? And you know, it got real.
The rainy day.
And it went right to the shoot, right?
Yeah.
First moment.
Right? As soon as it got hard,
Conflict.
it got
Whose
tough.
idea was it though? Who had the
Addict
idea?
Man.
Addict
Man.
He pulled it to the side.
You did.
But she had no defense, right?
Yeah.
She had no defense
No
against
coping
that,
skills.
that voice.
And now the boy is so much more vulnerable because that just happened. So they're both going out.
Right, like that would have been a situation where he needed somebody who had some time to support him in this high-risk situation, right?
Right.
And that's, you know, something that we,
Like a toilet.
something that we stand on the mountaintop screaming out to our clients every day, is that yes, you're creating these bonds and treatment with people who have exactly what you have, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna develop relationship, but these aren't the people you wanna be hanging out with after treatment. You know, you need to get your sponsor while you're in treatment, or somebody who has some time when we bring them to meetings. Because if you would have brought somebody who had some time under their belt to this high-risk situation, he would have been safer. Because there's no doubt he's probably going to use the rest of whatever she has with her.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, good. Bubble. I'm gonna bubble, because I wanna get to the truth. You know, I'm like the cop with the interrogation light. Tell me the truth. Okay, so I'm bubbling you, and it's truth serum. Do you have a sponsor?
I do not.
Why?
I didn't know it was my job to do.
Where's Layla?
I like that.
Where's Layla?
She just left.
Layla's the halfway house manager.
Blame somebody else.
Right? I mean,
Shut up.
you can always ask her to sponsor you,
You ready?
but that's maybe touchy because men with men, women with women, right? Second question. Did you call your sister?
Once or twice, I don't know.
No, he lied.
No, I didn't.
All right.
It's even hard with the
So
truth.
you're on bubble now, and you go back to your lies. So, what can we do for him? And is Michaela like lost? Can we do anything for Michaela?
He need to take her back to treatment.
Michaela's already released the beast, so to speak.
Yeah.
She's released that cycle of addiction all over again.
Right.
Reset her
Addict Man
brain.
left him, yeah.
And so maybe Layla or somebody can swoop in
Yeah.
and catch her, catch Joey, catch her, and get them back to get some help.
Yeah, but they're not, you can't force them.
Exactly, ultimately, the person has to be willing.
True.
The person has to be willing. Like, this is attraction and not promotion. I cannot pray somebody to get, in here or, preach them in here. Ultimately, that willingness, that gift of desperation has to be there.
Yes, yeah. Shannon, truth now. I'll bubble you, your truth serum all over you. Are you frustrated? Like, how long has this been going on with Joe?
I don't think I needed the truth bubble to answer that. Yes, I'm frustrated.
Okay.
I'm very frustrated.
Yeah, you're frustrated and you're also concerned about the baby. Yeah, right? How old is she?
She's 5 now. It's her 5th birthday.
And of those 5 years, how many has he spent with her? How many birthdays?
How many birthdays has he spent with her? I think out of all those, I think he called her like once. He's not really around.
Not true? I don't believe you though. See, that's the problem, right?
Wrap him up again.
True.
Yeah, right.
Not true. But I'm not gonna bubble
He
you
lied
again.
right through it the first time.
So you're frustrated on many levels, right? But let's get to because you're angry, right?
Yes.
And justifiably so. Righteous anger is the worst kind. So tell me what you think. Really think about Joey in terms of he's a brother, and you love him.
I think that he needs help, and I want to be able to help him, but he's in this cycle and it's hard. He's hurting his daughter. I would love for them to have a relationship, but he's not going about anything correctly. It seems like in his mind, everything revolves around him. Like, if he would have called me, like maybe we could have set up a lunch date or something and talked before he met her, before he talked to her, but he just barges in here. Like, it's stuff like this, like, Katie starts coming, then he does something stupid again. That just sets me off again.
Yeah, all right, well, you're unbubbled now. Michaela, what happened?
It just got too much after Shannon called me a stank. Like that just kind of.
That's it?
Yes. Yes. And you were all over that, right? Why were you all over that?
I mean, like.
Because you know Michaela really well, don't you? But,
Yeah, we're close.
but I don't understand something. Aren't you close to him?
I'm close to whoever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Michaela, what happened? What happened?
I took the stuff that Flacco gave me. So I used it for the rainy day.
The first time Flacco gave it to you, or the fourth time that he gave it?
The fourth time.
Uh-huh. There it is. Okay. So, I want to talk about recovery capital, because this is something that you taught me. Yeah.
I learned it here. I learned it from Rick.
All right, well, recovery capital, this is a really interesting concept, and I'd like you to hear from Dina, and I'm gonna ask these guys to come off the stage for a minute, so she can talk about that, and then I'm gonna bring you back and have you come out of character.
Okay. So recovery capital, right? This is a theoretical framework that was coined back in the 90s. And basically what it is the sum of all of a person's resources that will enable them to recover from substance use disorder. And so we talked about there being different pathways to recovery. And so there's domains of the recovery capital, right? So we have human capital, which consists of, our intelligence, our characteristics, our traits, right? Like perseverance, discipline, things like that, that will help us to recover. Then we have like cultural/community capital, which consists of like faith-based programs, 12-step recovery program, places like this, right? The recovery community organization where people can come and learn about recovery. And then we have physical capital, which is, at monetary assets, having a vehicle, having a home, like those types of resources. And then the fourth domain is the social capital. And this has been statistically proven to be the most important domain of the recovery capital, and that's the connections with people. And so they've done tons of studies actually. When you get into the literature on this framework, there's a couple of different measures that are utilized, scales to be able to ascertain a person's ability, strengths and abilities to recover, and measure their recovery capital. I know they do that here, at Fellowship, and with the residents there. They do it at different sober livings, to help them develop additional resources for people and figure out where they need to focus their efforts more on, so that to give people a better chance at recovery.
Awesome. And that's what her dissertation is gonna be about.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Give her a hand, wow. Awesome, and and now on our public channel, on our official College of Education School of Criminal Justice, the soon-to-be Dr. Dina Gucciano. Soon.
Great job, Dina.
Very proud of you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to come out of character. And the way we do that, the louder you clap, the better it is for them. So, the louder you clap. So, here's the question I always like to pose to the ensemble members. What was it like preparing, developing, rehearsing, all of that, and then even if, because there's some of you that were at Legacy Healing, and if you see any differences or felt like this particular program was maybe different in any way, and lessons learned, let's say, what did you get out of this, being a part of it, because that's the beauty of Sociodrama. How many of you got something out of it tonight? You liars. No. Bubble, you know. So, good, you got something out of it. That's great. That's one of our goals. We said that in the beginning. Saving one life is all that matters to us in our work. But I'm doing this a really long time. I'm doing this since 1985. Yeah, and started at the Police Academy in New York and NYPD, doing role playing and sociodrama work with recruits, and all the way until present day. And what I'm here to tell you is that the sociodrama members themselves get the most out of this methodology. They get the most out of it because they're immersed in the character, right? And then they find empathy, and they find identification, or they might even find healing in this, or it might even ring a bell for one of them. In fact, we used to have a member, and we don't have anymore, and I wish that he had been here to maybe hear this, right? So let's start with Joey, and then we'll end with Layla. What did you get out of it? Introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about the process.
Hello, I'm Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Hi. This is the second time I've played this role, and just from when we did it at Legacy, that was very hard because they're in treatment. We're making people cry. It was very impactful. As for playing an addict, I'm trying to do this role justice. Because you see stuff on TV, but that's not really accurate. So I tried to do it justice. I hope I did.
Yes, you did.
Good job.
Thank you. As for developing it, it is a harder role to play, to put yourself in that mindset. And we've been working on this since November, really. So like Dr. G said, we get a lot out of it. You learn a lot, because I've never met somebody who was an addict before, or went through treatment or stuff like that. So I've definitely learned a lot. I'm grateful for it.
Great. Michaela.
So I'm Michaela. Jory kind of summed up basically everything I was gonna say. And the first time, I played the girlfriend at Legacy as well. And it was kind of hard to get into the role of it because, as Jory said, I've never met an addict either. And so just being immersed in this performance and everything kind of just opened my eyes to see what other people may be dealing with. And I think it may have been said somewhere, I think I was back there, but if you're walking down the street, you can't just be like, oh, that person's this. Everyone's different, and everyone has their own issues that they're dealing with. So it is eye-opening that people deal with these issues.
Excellent. Thank you. Shannon, and I hope you tell the story of what happened at Legacy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Legacy was really hard, especially playing this role, because there was 2 people.
Wait, hold on a second. Do you guys mind? Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, so at Legacy, it was very hard in this role because there was 2 people that related very closely to this story, and like very closely, like pretty much had the same situation going on. So I was already emotional, but then at the end, I guess they had this program where inside one of their groups, they were all given keys, and throughout the week they had to give their key to someone that impacted them the most, or someone that they thought was like such a good person, like just like their presence made them feel better. And one of the girls came up to me after, gave me a hug, and like just told me her story and gave me that key, and it just made me so emotional. And I actually still have it in my phone case. It's right there. I keep it on me all the time. So, but yeah, developing it, and obviously situation like that, I always learn so much more from you guys and your stories and your feedback. I think I get more out of it the more performances I do.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon.
Hi, my name's not Addict Man. My name's Maya. I played Addict Man at Legacy. I was I wasn't originally supposed to be Addict Man, but I became Addict Man. The role, it's really hard sometimes, like, playing the role of like the villain, like that thing that has like kind of like put so many people down, and I'm happy that in a way that I was able to portray it correctly. And during Legacy, the topic of my race kind of got brought up, because like it's damaging kind of for I'm good that sort of representation. But like I was genuinely cast because I was able to play that role correctly, and
so well.
Thank you.
The best definitely out of the ones that have tried.
I thought that you handled at Legacy. I thought that you handled that particular challenge really well, and it was a little bit of a lesson learned for us. But I thought you did such an excellent job, and you got this role forever if you want.
I don't know if I graduate, I could come back, but
Keep coming back. Keep coming back. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Flacco.
So,
What's
I
your
know
name?
I
What's
don't
your
look
name?
like a Flacco, but I actually, so my name's Ryan. Sadly, this is actually my last 2 months because I'm transferring to a different college back in Tampa. Yeah, I forgot to tell you this, you weren't there at the last meeting, so surprise. I never like told some of y'all. Anyway, so I'm moving.
Do I need to bubble you? Totally there.
Yeah, I'm actually leaving to go to USF at the end of the semester. So I'm like very sad because the 2 reasons I'm even staying at this school right now are because of Sociodrama and the academy that I'm in Fischler's for. But doing Addict Man, I didn't know what to expect the first time, yet alone this time, because I have a fiance and we're going through the exact same situation right now. He's still in rehab.
Wow.
So when the first time we did it, he had gone to rehab and left the next day. And now, as of a couple days after that, the judge put him in rehab. So I haven't spoken to him since December 5th. And he should be out first week of March, so it's extremely hard. I've been having to talk to his family about, like them filling me in and everything. So I'm pretty much in the exact same situation. He also has children. And him being put there made me relapse. More than make me relapse, but I had relapsed due to the stress of the situation. So being here, I didn't know today exactly how to expect, because I also broke down the last time on the stage. But it's definitely, you learn something new every day, and it was before I had relapsed myself, so now I'm working on doing better.
Yes.
I'm so heartbroken now.
Yeah, I thought I told you.
No, you didn't.
No.
Just like he called his sister. Right. I know. What's up, Layla? Layla.
Alright, my name is Layla, and I was able to play the manager of the halfway house. This is my first time playing this role. Honestly, I didn't go to the legacy house I lived in, so I didn't get to see that the whole thing. But being here in this moment, playing this role, I didn't know how much it would touch me because I never got to see it like acted out before. But being here and hearing everybody's stories and seeing where everybody is on a different path is just, it's so real because you know people who are in that situation. You know people who go through the same thing, and it's hearing real stories and real people, real hearts, and having the empathy. But to all my fellow co-starting members, they were awesome. They played their roles really good, and
So did you.
they did awesome, and like it's just really real and really helpful to be here.
Excellent. So, Alex and Madison, behind the scenes, tell us what you got out of this. And I know, Alex, you played the sponsor last time.
I did.
Or halfway house manager. So, what was it like for you on the other side and behind the camera and all of that?
Oh boy. Well, this time a little bit less stressful, I'd say. Just because I was on the camera. Hopefully, I did a good job on the live stream. But last time it was just, a little bit eye-opening since, you're there in front of people and, it's not like this is a recording. We're interacting with you, so you can sense the emotions in people and the way you're like impacting them. And like, I just remember walking out of there. I was just in shock for a while, just in a good way, mainly, just because at the end everybody just like we had great conversations with everybody, just talking about things in general, like not even about this, just everything, yeah. And when I started this, it was for different reasons. I wanted to work on just my overall presence in front of people, things like that. But the amount of relationships and the amount of people who've actually been able to impact, I couldn't believe it. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. Madison.
My name is Madison. I'm in one of Dr. T's classes. So this semester I've been coming out to all of the performances, and I didn't know about this club beforehand. So now that I'm coming out to these, and it's eye-opening because everyone has their own family issues and things that go on in their life. But by seeing all of the plays, you can see what other people are going through, and it's just as a young student, it's just you see things that you might not see on the daily. So.
Yeah. And is this this is not your first sociodrama. It's your second one.
Yeah, my first one was last week.
Elder abuse. Yeah. Elder abuse with the seniors community center there. Awesome. Dina, what was it like for you? Actually, you are behind the development of this, as we mentioned. I think we mentioned this in the beginning. But you're the one that we were on the phone with, and you were FaceTiming you, and you were giving us ideas about the scenes and all of that stuff. So what was it like for you, maybe legacy versus here, tonight? Any insights or lessons learned you want to talk about?
Okay, so you guys did great. And it's always, good to, it helps me gain insight hearing other people that might not have been, experienced addiction or, have a family member that experiences it, but just being open-minded and trying to help in that way. But so at first I really didn't know what to expect. Definitely when we were in the center, it was different. With the clients were really raw, and so we had to tweak some things this time because it got really intense. Brought up a lot of stuff for people, but in that setting, it was okay, right? Because there was the therapists were there. It was okay. In this setting, it was definitely interactive and hearing different people's perspectives and people that have more experience than others, and just to the varying degrees. So that was
great.
And thank you so much. So I'm going to ask the audience, give them another round of applause, please. I want to ask you all, what did you get out of it, if anything? Like, one word, we could do a round robin. Maybe we don't get everybody, but one word, what'd you get out of it? One word.
It was captivating.
Captivating.
Motivating.
Motivating. Motivating.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life.
Real life. Rick? Okay. Okay, anybody?
Honesty.
Honesty. Powerful. Excellent. What about this side?
Oh.
Hope. Excellent, yes.
Humility.
Humility.
Clarity.
Clarity.
Reinforcement.
Reinforcement.
Reliving.
And
Awareness.
Sorry?
Awareness.
Awareness. Empathy. Compassion. Fabulous. Fabulous. So let's talk about resources.
Perspective.
Perspective. Great. Great. I'll do a shameless plug quick and just say that if anybody is interested in us taking this show on the road, let us know. Come up to us after and we'll see what we can do. We'll have to try to convince you to stay, or someone else has had to play Flacco or whatever, but,
But no one will play as good.
no one would, no, not, of course not. But let's talk about some resources. Let's talk about resources. What can someone do if they've come to that willing place, they've come to that surrender? What are the things that you would suggest? And we don't have to just do the 12-step mantra either. Like, from your expertise as a therapist, what do you suggest?
Well, it depends on to the varying degree of what the person's struggling with. So the person might need a medical detox, you know, depending upon the substances they're using, how much they've been using, how long they've been using. They need to be medically detoxed because, you know, potentially they could die, right? Alcohol and benzodiazepine withdrawal you can die from if you have a seizure. Opiate withdrawal feels like you're gonna die, right? So just being in, you know, that's number one, is to get the substances removed, right? Get through that acute withdrawal period. And then from there, treatment. You know, not everybody's experiences treatment, but they've done tons of studies. You know, and one of the studies, it's NIDA, which is the government foundation, and they did a longitudinal study where they followed 500 people across a 12-month period, people that entered treatment all the way to the 12 months. And they found that 90 days of treatment or less was of little or no significance. And basically meaning staying in a place where you're supported for that period of time is proven to be helpful. And then there's support groups. They give out, Sarah, did you want to say anything about resources? You're the resource person.
You want to talk a little bit about fellowship? Let's shamelessly plug this fellowship.
So you guys are at a Fellowship Recovery Community Organization. My name's Sarah. We provide completely free services here. We have a program called the Telephone Recovery Support Line, where we can just reach out to a peer or participant and to find out how they're doing. Sometimes that phone can be 10,000 pounds if you're trying to call to get help. So we reach out to the people out there and just, hey, how you doing in your recovery? So that's one line of support. We also have peers here, recovery coaches, people that can meet with another participant. We're part of iSafe Florida. What that is we provide Narcan to anyone who needs Narcan. We can do the training. We're available to do training at different facilities. And if you want to just come pick some up, just give us a call. Hey, I need 2 boxes, and we'll show you how you can use it. So that way people don't have to feel ashamed or anything like that. Just come by and pick it up.
Excellent. I have one in my glove compartment.
I do too.
Very good.
All right, so, thank you so much. And if anybody is loving what is done here in terms of the Recovery Fellowship Organization, they can make a donation, can't they?
Yes.
How do they make a donation?
Write a check.
They write a check.
You take Cash App, there's a QR code right over there,
Is
right on the
there?
website.
Is there?
There's a QR code, I saw it hanging right over there.
Where is it?
And so, I saw it
So
hanging.
let's show it to the viewers at home.
Okay.
Excellent, all right. So, somebody just get behind the camera a minute so I can see if it's, is it showing?
good. It's good.
Okay, good. So, yeah, oh, thank you, Alex. Great. So there's the QR code. I don't know if that would work via you, watching it on YouTube.
You can go right to the website.
All right, or go to the website, Fellowship Recovery Community Organization, and make a donation, or let others know, especially those people who are wealthy. Let them know, right? But every penny counts, yes.
We say, just so you know, we have anywhere from 400 to 500 people come through here each year that live here. And we have over 1,000 people a year that come through for recovery support for relapse. So, but what we do here is recovery support services. Housing is just one of the things to keep them alive and keep them going. But recovery support services are what we really do. And that means we hook up people with anything and everything they need in their recovery to do better. And that means getting their medical help, their food, their clothes, their phone, an address, a job, resumes, anything and everything to get them their life restarted. And so, and of course the support of the other, we have 150 men that live here and 30 women, and we're all in one community, and we meet together to help each other every day. So that's how we operate.
And by the way, that's Rick Riccardi, and he is the founder, yes? And founder and president. So I want to say thank you to NSU. I want to thank my beautiful kids here that I love very much. I want to thank all of you for being here and really supporting them, because it's nothing worse than an empty room. And what's really special is that I think that the message that we sent today is received, especially by this wonderful, warm audience. So we thank you again for watching us, and we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Good night.